Alright, this video is about how to use your calculator to find, to graph quadratic functions. You can find the vertex on it, the x-intercepts, y-intercepts, any other kind of points on it, and that's what I'm going to teach you how to do. Okay, first thing you're going to do is these buttons here you need to know. Those are all your graphing buttons, and those are the ones we're going to use. Okay, so I'm going to hit my y equals button, and I'm going to plug in. If you have anything in there, just hit clear and clear it out. What I like to do is start my problems before I even enter anything in here. I like to put it in zoom 6. Okay, zoom 6 is in standard. All it does is puts that x and y axis right smack in the middle. Okay, all right, and I don't have to wait for anything to graph. If I've got a function in there, I got to wait for it to graph. Not that it really matters in this one. All right, so the first one I'm going to plug in is this one right here. So I'm going to hit my y equals, and I'm going to plug in a negative x squared minus 2x plus 8. Now something you need to look at and be real careful is don't start with a minus sign. That's a negative. See how small it is compared to the minus sign? Because if you put a minus sign there, I think it's going to give you an error message. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so let's see what the graph looks like. Well, I'm just going to hit graph. That's my next step. And this is what it looks like. Well, it kind of matches that. Okay, of course this one's much neater than ours, but ours is a sketch. Okay, now the other things we need, first of all, it opened down just like this one. I'm sorry because of that glare. If I turn my light off overhead, you can't see anything in here. So, but the things we need are vertex, x-intercept, and y-intercept. Okay, so the easiest thing to find next is the y-intercept. So if you hit your trace button after you graph something, anytime you graph a function, if you'll then hit trace, it always comes up on the y-intercept, always, which was 0, 8. Well, on this first problem, we found it to be 0, 8. Okay? The next thing I'm going to teach you to do is find the vertex. The vertex in this problem was negative 1, 9. Okay, so for the vertex and the x-intercepts, you're going to kind of do the same thing. Okay? To find the vertex, you're going to hit your second button, which is yellow or blue. In mine, it's a blue one. And I'm going to hit trace, which turns it into calculate. Okay, so second trace. And in this case, let me go back for just a second. This is the highest point, so this is a maximum. If it went the other way, it would be considered a minimum. So second trace, in this case, because it opens down, we have a maximum. I'm going to hit 4. Now it asks the question left bound. You've got to move this cursor using your right and left arrow keys to move it along here. You need to move it on the left-hand side of that vertex. So I'm going to use my left arrow key, and I'm going to hit it until it's someplace on the left. It's fine right there. It's fine down here. It really doesn't matter. Just get it on this left-hand side of where my pen is. Now I'm going to hit enter. Now it asks for the right-hand bound. So I'm going to use the right arrow key, this one right here, and I'm going to hit it until it gets to the right-hand side of that vertex. Okay, it doesn't matter where you put it as long as it's somewhere on this right side. And you're going to hit enter. At this point, it asks for a guess. You can move that cursor up here. You can leave it. It really doesn't matter what you do at this point. Just hit enter again. And you'll notice on mine, yours may be different. Okay? On mine, it has negative 0.9999997, comma 9. Okay? That has to do with where I placed this. Okay? because I'm going to try it again to see if it comes up different. Yours may have come up exactly at -1, 9. Yours may have come up with -1.00000002, something like that. The pixels are just too big. You need to double check this. Remember, we had it at -19, right? So your calculator, this really is a -1. Okay, it's understood that you're going to have to figure that one out. So just to make sure, remember my y is 9. I'm going to just hit -1 and I'm going to hit enter and it's going to come up 9. So that -9.99999 really meant 1. That had to do with where I placed my cursor. So let me try it again. Second calc 4 for maximum. I'm just going to put it right here. It's to the left of it. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to put this to the right of it. I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to hit enter again. It came up the same thing. Okay, so sometimes ours are not going to be, some of ours are going to match. Let me see what happens if I put it way down here, because that's on the left side. Let me put it way on the other side. Let's just see if I put this up here. Let's say that's my guess. There it did it. I wonder if it has anything to do with the guess. It could be, because I never moved mine. I just know that that's it. Okay, I'll come back to that because we'll have another one like that. All right, so that's how you find your maximum or your vertex. Anytime you hear the word maximum or minimum, it means vertex. So you just need to keep that in mind. Okay, to find the x-intercepts. When you get to your next class, your x-intercepts are going to become what we call zeros. Okay, if you ever hear zeros, just know that it's where it crosses the x-axis. Now this graph here, you can just look at it and tell what it is, because these little notches are counting by ones. So it's 1, 2, 3, -4, and a +2. Okay, you'll notice we had -40 and +2. But sometimes they're not exactly that. Sometimes they're decimals. All right, so I'm going to teach you the keystrokes to finding the zeros. We're still going to go back to second trace, and we're going to hit 2. Now you got to do this twice because we had 2 intercepts. All right, ask for the left bound of this point. So this is the 0, so I need my cursor to be on the left-hand side of where my pen is. And it's to the left of it. It doesn't matter where. Okay, just somewhere to the left. Hit enter. Go up here somewhere to the right of it. Hit enter. Let's move our cursor down there because it may be because I never do that. Well, I couldn't really get it on top. That's close. Hit enter and it gives us -40. Okay, now I got to come over and find this one to make sure it's 20. So I'm going to hit second calc. I'm going to hit 2. It's on the left-hand bound. I could hit enter at any time. It's still to the left because here's where that crosses, and see how the cursor is left of my pen. Hit enter. Now it's going to go to the right, be on the right-hand side. Hit enter. Let's go ahead and take my guess, move it there, hit enter, and there it's 20. Okay? All right, and that's how you find all that information using your calculator. Okay, so let's look at the second one, and let's type this in. Well, we knew it opened up because our a was positive, but I'm going to go to y equals. I'm going to clear this one out, and I'm going to type in x squared minus 4. Okay, so we know it opens up, so let's just hit graph because that's what I did next. Okay, it opened up. This time, okay, if I want to find the y-intercept, which is the easiest, you hit trace. It all automatically, I'm trying to get it so that there's not a glare, but I guess that's as best as I can do. It always comes up with that y-intercept. Okay, So now we have the y-intercept. I have a feeling that that's the same thing as our vertex, but it is. But let's prove it. So we're going to hit, again, you should already have these next to you. Put second trace, and this time it's a minimum because it's the lowest point. Second trace, 3 for minimum. Let me move my keyboard out of the way. Maybe that's not, wasn't helping the matter. So let's do minimum 3. We're going to put it on the left hand side. So I'm going to use my left arrow key. It's to the left of that, hit enter. It's to the, take it to the right, hit enter. Go ahead and guess at the begin, at there, hit enter, and there it is. Our minimum is 0, -4. Okay. The last thing we needed to know is our zeros or our x-intercepts. So we're going to hit second, trace again. We're now going to hit 2 for 0, or you're going to arrow down. I'm going to find this one first. So I need to use my left arrow key to get it on the left side of that. It is. I'm going to hit enter. The right side, it's now there. You'll notice that there's 2 arrows up here. You need the cursor between them. So let's put it, try to get it right on top of there, because I think that's my problem. And it gives us -2, 0. This one is 2, 0, but let's make sure we're going to, because we're just learning the keystrokes. So you just need to be able to do it, even with the easy ones. Second trace, 2 again. It is on the left-hand bound. We could hit enter at this point, but I don't like to. I'm just going to hit it right here. That's to the left of it. Now I'm going to go to the right of my pen, and then I'm going to try and get it on top of that, and hit enter, and it's 2, 0. And that's all there is to it. If for some reason you needed more points on here, if you needed more than this point, and this point, okay, like up here, I actually made another point that's in red. I only graphed, you know, from the information, the zeros, the x-intercepts, the y-intercept, and the vertex. I knew there was a point here because this axis of symmetry, if there is one point to the right, there's one point to the left. It's symmetric about this axis of symmetry. This left side is the same as the right side. It's symmetric to it. So right here, here's that imaginary line. It's 1, 2, 3 points to the right, then there's 1, 2, 3 points to the left. That's going to be true no matter what. But let's say we needed one more points. Well, we can go to our table, and it's going to give us all the points on this parabola. So you need it to be second table, and here's a bunch of points. I don't really want to graph 14, so I'm going to go back around the origin. But you'll see that we have -1, 3. That wasn't one of our points. Okay, that was down here on this one. -1 down 3 is right there. If there's a point right there, here's our axis of symmetry, then I know there's a point right here as well. And I bet you I can find 1, 3 on here. There's one -1, -3. Here's 1, -3. Okay, so anyway, that's how you use your calculator to graph parabolas.